Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters. I'm Mark Owen. The trial of Yingluck Shinawatra has begun in Thailand, her home country, where just over a year ago she was the democratically elected Prime Minister. Thailand today is ruled once again by the military after another coup. Thailand has a king. It has once again opposition media voices, but few people seem to set any real hope in what seems more and more like a facade of democracy. Our correspondent Siru Payang has met with those who were ousted from power and with Yingluck herself.
Quiet days in Bangkok, a football game among friends, with a difference. All these men held key positions in the Thai government a year ago, before the military coup of May 2014.
No mention of politics today?
A little bit, maybe. Some general discussion. Not a serious discussion, so don't be nervous. I tell junta, please don't be nervous.
Political gatherings of more than 5 people are now punishable by imprisonment in Thailand. Keeping a low profile is the new rule for these career politicians.
Look at what we're reduced to. You think it's reasonable? Do you believe that Thais are happy, watching their democracy slipping away? What is happening now is like going backwards compared to the values we fought for.
Next, a surprise. This is the first public appearance by Yingluck Shinawatra since she was deposed as Prime Minister. She's banned from politics for 5 years, and a 10-year prison sentence for corruption is pending.
And now look, there are even cheerleaders.
Yes, you should be our team leader.
It's a real youth camp here.
Prime Minister, are you afraid for your future? What will happen to you?
Sorry, can we smile first today? So we will have relax and sport today. Thanks.
After a decade of deep political turmoil, the military has once again seized power in Thailand. The dark cloud of dictatorship looms everywhere. Central Bangkok, it's 3 in the morning. The man we have to meet is an artist, but he takes an enormous risk. His work has a primary target: challenging the authority of the new master of the country, General Prayuth Chan-ocha.
He always said that people have to believe him. But how people believe him? We have our brain. We can think everything by ourselves. But one day, one guy that come and say that you have to believe me is stupid. What happened in Thailand now? Everybody afraid.
Why do you do that?
Maybe it makes some inspiration for Thai people to know that how we lost freedom now.
Seldom in contemporary Thailand has so much power been concentrated in the hands of one man. The chief of the armed forces and self-proclaimed Prime Minister Prayuth embraces an authoritarian mixture of paternalism and patriotism, with no room to express a contrary opinion. No hope of any elections anytime soon. The nation is held in an iron fist in the name of peace and stability. This is the day of a court appearance for Yingluck Shinawatra. But tribunals are nothing new to him.
I wrote 3 books. The first one was Love Letter to Dictators. He's the editor. Selling like hotcake. The second was Speaking Truth to Power, all gone. And the latest one is called Playing Violin for the Coup Leader. Because in Thai, you play violin to buffaloes.
Yingluck is a man apart in Thailand, a rebel motivated by Buddhist morality, a dissident and an intellectual, a self-proclaimed royalist, who has been convicted of lèse-majesté on 5 separate occasions.
I don't claim to be a genius, I don't claim to be anything, but I claim to have moral courage to say, in my opinion, what is right, and to condemn what is wrong.
Yingluck has spent his life campaigning against the abuse of power. Naturally, General Prayuth is his latest target.
He is a mediocre. He had no leadership quality. He's afraid, he has no moral courage. This sort of man cannot be dictator. Always afraid to be unpopular. No, if you do the right thing, you should not be afraid to be unpopular.
Dr. Yingluck has a loyal following, a few dissenting voices in a mostly silent Thailand. This library, managed by a group of young students, is unique. It is a sanctuary for culture and nonviolent activism.
We're all human and equal. I refuse to carry a weapon. I refuse to go to the army barracks when conscripted. I claim my universal right to conscientious objection. I categorically reject any enlistment in the army. I challenge the methods. I denounce the violence.
These Thais are barely 18 years old, but are not afraid to face any political challenges in their country.
I think it is normal for a dictatorial regime to try to control people in every aspect of their life. Like they can control speeches, they can control how we talk, but they try to take another step. They try to take control of the concept of the morality of the people. They try to control what we think is good and what we think is bad.
2 opposition television stations have been allowed to broadcast again, but with conditions including no mention of politics on the air. Tita was one of the leaders of the Red Shirt movement. Today, she is limited to running the party's television station.
We want to reform. We can say reform, but it's a long time. It's a long time of reformation. Maybe it means revolution. I don't know.
Tita's allies and their party have won every single election for 15 years. With the latest coup, the Red Shirt movement was erased from the Thai political landscape. Now they struggle to keep the flame alive.
I joined the people in the jungle area, you see? And we have more than 10,000 of people with a gun. But we cannot win. The best way right now, we should win the heart of the people. The intellectual and middle class should be the front line to fight. And for the mass, maybe later.
It is rhetoric for a shrinking audience. With Thailand run by a regime that does not let anything go unnoticed, the Red Shirt movement is torn apart and dying. Even in its strongholds, their support networks are in shambles. We join the student network and take the northeastern road to the poorest rural region of the country, Isan. This is the traditional bastion for the opponents of the establishment and military. Some clandestine organizations, all from academic backgrounds, have started to organize to challenge the authorities. We make contact with a member of the Dao Din militant group, one of the most active in the country. Their main targets, abuse of power and conflict of interest. This village is located 8 hours from the capital, away from the beaten track. But here too, any gathering of more than 5 people is prohibited. However, the village chief has organized a picnic. This community is confronting a large mining project in the area.
We lost everything. We may look like we're free, but we're not. If I say something to the authorities, they listen to me, yes, but they do nothing. For them, we no longer exist.
The power is just centralized, and so that the people outside Bangkok will not have any voice about their life, about their human rights.
Back in Bangkok, it is judgment time for Sulak, the veteran dissident. Not surprisingly, the judge is ordering the seizure and destruction of his latest book. In addition, he's once again the target of lèse-majesté charges.
They dismiss my appeal. This is the protecting the government, protecting the police, not protecting justice.
So will you fight back, or
there's no way? When you live in this country, you have to accept no champagne after all.
It's the final act. The curtain is closing. A decree has just been issued banning the Red Shirt TV station from broadcasting. It's accused of sedition and inciting political unrest. Outside, we meet Dr. Wang, who we saw at the football match a few days earlier. His mood is somber.
You know, in this world, the decisive factor is people. So let you do everything you would like to. No problem. You can kill. I asked that, could it be possible for you to kill all the 67 million people all over Thailand? No. I don't know how much can you kill. I don't know how much can you arrest into the jail, but not all.
Thailand has experienced 12 coups since 1932. With the military again at the center stage, the question is whether this time they will transfer power back to the people.
Our reporter Cyril Payang can join us now from Bangkok. Cyril, thank you very much for that report. A year ago, we were talking all about the red shirts and the yellow shirts and the confrontation going on in Bangkok. Tell us, what are the yellow shirts up to these days?
Well, they are not obviously in the report because they are keeping a very low profile now. It's very difficult to talk to any of these of their leaders, and even if we don't see it now in Thailand of today, the country is still very much polarized, and maybe more than ever. But in the mind of the red shirt, the one who just have been fighting for the establishment, for the even fighting against democracy at some extent, they are keeping a low profile because in their minds they just want by having the military moving in 1 year ago, and the military is extremely pro-monarchy, pro-establishment, going back to all values who were very, very similar to the platform of the yellow shirt. So this is why they are very low profile. You don't hear much from them now.
Cyril, clearly you're asking difficult questions. Tell us about the difficulties that you encountered during this film shoot.
Well, it's extremely difficult, and I have to pay a tribute to the young dissidents who just accepted to be in this film, to talk to us, to answer our questions. Even to have a team as a journalist is extremely difficult here in Thailand, because even if it's a country where millions of tourists from Western countries or wherever in the world go on the beach or just to visit, they have no clue or what is going on. Still, it's impossible to meet more than to have more than 5 people meeting in the streets of Bangkok or anywhere else in the country. The military is really full in force in this country, and there is no really a ray of hope from having any turn of democracy sooner or later. So we have a new dissent coming in, which is very, very separated from the old Shinawatra dynasty, the Shinawatra junta, which has been in power for nearly 15 years, deposed by 2 coups. And the last coup was 1 year ago when Yingluck Shinawatra, as a prime minister, was deposed by the military. These young people, the dissidents, are really following their way. And I believe this is the new face of the dissent in this country. New people, intellectuals, and the civil society also being much empowered now.
There's been coup after coup after coup since the 1930s, Cyril. One has the impression that the story keeps repeating itself. But do you think that nonetheless things have begun to change?
Well, maybe it's globalization. Maybe this is the time for change. Indeed, you had like 17 coups since 1932 in this country. So there is really an old habit from the military to seize power when they want to do it. So, but many people are saying here, starting to say, or at least to think, because you can't really express an opinion yet, but just to think that this is maybe the last coup, because you didn't have in the contemporary story of Thailand so much power in the hand of one man, which is the supreme leader of the junta, General Prayuth Chan-ocha. And some people think this is maybe there won't be any turn back. And Thailand is changing because of internet, because of globalization, because of the emergence of these new seeds of dissent, as we see in the report. Some people here foresee that there will be maybe a final clash between two Thailand. Then maybe at the end, democracy will prevail here.
Indeed. And we know that you, Cyril Payam, will bring us that story when it happens. Thank you, sir, very much indeed, as ever, for your contributions. Cyril Payam's report, of course, you can see it again via our website, france24.com, in French, English, and, of course, in Arabic. This is Reporters. Stay with us. You're watching France 24.